Welcome to Ivanoff Retirement Insights with Paul and Travis Ivanoff. The father and son team at Ivanoff Advisors and Ivanoff Wealth Management helps clients grow and protect their wealth. Paul and Travis understand the importance of having tax-advantaged, reliable income in retirement, protecting your assets, and helping you achieve your retirement dreams. Now, Ivanoff Retirement Insights.
I want to chat more specifically about your business, Ivanoff Advisors and Ivanoff Wealth Management. I know you guys can help with so many things when it comes to financial and retirement planning. So can you kind of give us an overview of what you can help individuals with, what you can help families with, and what's your specialty when it comes to serving your clients?
Well, we've been doing this a long time, Casey. And over the years, we realized that we are trying to get everything that retirees are going to need before retirement and after retirement. And we pretty well put it together. We have everything from Social Security timing, risk managed investments, IRA, 401k rollovers, strategic Roth conversions. Also, my wife, she's part of the business as well. She handles all the Medicare. She has every Medicare plan. And in addition to that, we do our own trust in-house. We have our own accountants. Well, believe it or not, we even started cremations. And in the end, nobody gets out alive.
Wow.
And I thought it was a great fit after long-term care. Well, what's next? Nobody gets out of here alive.
Wow. Okay.
So we've got pretty well everything for retirees. And that's what our clients like about us. They don't have to have 5 or 6 or 7 different advisors or go see someone for Medicare somewhere else or an accountant elsewhere. They like the idea that everything is in-house.
Yeah. So for those listening, if you're thinking you may need some help in this department, remember that if you are one of our first 5 callers today, we will get you on the calendar for an Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. This is a complimentary consultation with Paul, Travis, and the team. And there is no obligation. It is just a conversation and a chance for you to get those questions answered. But you got to give us a call to secure that spot. 714-452-1955. Again, that is 714-452-1955. Or you can reach us anytime at ivanoffinsights.com. All right, guys, let's get into some retirement chat, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, we've got a lot to get into today. How much that you need to retire, what interest rates are doing, and how that affects your retirement savings, and of course, a little Social Security talk. But first, if you've ever listened to our podcast, then you have heard us talk about risk tolerance. But how do you define that? Well, here is Carrie Hannon with Yahoo Finance. Take a listen.
It's really how much you can stomach when the markets drop. Are you going to freak out? Are you going to panic? So this is sort of this moment where you have to sort of take a breath and really be honest with yourself. How can you handle the drops? And we see these all the time. And can you wait it out for it to come back? So if a 10% drop is going to make you crazy, then you're not very risk tolerant. But it's important to understand that because this is going to tell you how much you want to be in the stock market, invested in equities, or in cash and bonds, which is a little more steady, and you're not going to have these ups and downs.
So that's the definition. But guys, how do you go about measuring a client's risk tolerance? Does this conversation usually happen during that first meeting where you're doing that Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. It always helps in that first meeting when we're getting to know the client. And I think she said it well. With today's volatility and, you get these big returns and big losses, I like to talk to clients about that. We have a risk assessment inside the office where, that's your basic questions when it kind of talks about your risk number, 0 to 100, how risky are you? But I do like to do exactly what she did. And that is, hey, if the market loses 10%, how are you feeling? Do you feel good about where you're at in the portfolio? Or are you going to make an immediate change? And the other side of that question is, what are you looking to gain? What kind of return are you looking for on average? What would be a good return for you when you think about it? Well, I want as much as I can get. I want 15 to 20% on average every single year. Okay, well, that's going to be, there's a possibility of losing more than 10% there. Are you okay with a 20% loss? Absolutely not. All right, well, I think in the perfect world, everyone wants all of the upside with no downside, right? And unfortunately, when you're dealing with the market, no one really knows exactly what's going to happen day in and day out. So we talk about that with clients and kind of explain to them, hey, you're now retired or getting ready to retire. You do not have the same timetable as you do while you're working, right? If it's 10 years prior and the market's going up and down, sure, you can kind of stomach the roller coaster. But once you retire, usually your risk changes because you know that you need to pull paychecks and you need to live off this money for the rest of your life. So we have those conversations in our office. We talk about having a realistic risk and return number. If you're not willing to lose over 20%, well, we're not going to put you into, some very aggressive holdings, even at 10% loss, right? So we need to make sure that at the end of the day, we're keeping our clients' portfolios intact. And that is really the goal. We can keep up with really big performance if that's what you need. But oftentimes when you retire, you want to just make sure you have enough income and that you're not going to run out of money. So that all goes into the risk conversation we have in the first appointment. And towards the end of our appointment with our clients, when we're sitting there having our consultation, we do take their temperature on risk and we go through, 12, 13 different questions. And oftentimes clients think they're very aggressive and then they get done answering those questions and realize they're actually very conservative based off their answers.
Well, I know you guys have seen this time and time again being in this business for so long, but life has a way of throwing us curveballs, whether that's a new job, whether that's you're growing your family or a change in the market. And those can all shift how comfortable we feel with risk. So I want to ask you this. How often are you sitting down with your clients to revisit their risk tolerance? Are there certain life changes or certain events that happen that you may say, hey, it's time we need to sit down. We need to chat about this again?
Well, we put out emails constantly, and with a lot of our clients, usually we see them anywhere from, depending on the client, it could be every year, every 6 months, or some clients want to see us even more so than that. But we're always available whenever they want to get with us.
Travis, any thoughts to add to that?
Yeah, so a lot of our clients, it could be quarterly or semi-annually is usually what we're doing. And kind of to your question there, if there's a big life event, and we need to adjust risk. Maybe you had some money that was more growth oriented and you realize, I'm going to have to actually, one of my kids is going through a divorce and I need to help them purchase a home, or my spouse they need some care. We need some long-term care coverage. We need to be able to pay for those kind of things, or kids getting, going to get married. We need some money for the wedding and whatnot. And then there's project money. And I kind of talk about, I had an appointment earlier today and the client was telling me what they wanted to work with. And I said, okay, did that include your project money? Because you just explained to me that you're going to redo the kitchen. You want to redo the bathroom. So that dollar amount you just gave me, was some of that your project money, or is that all money that can be invested? Because that's important, because that time horizon of those dollars, if you're redoing the kitchen in 6 months, we need to be very conservative with that, right? Because
Let's make a plan.
Yeah, we need a plan. I don't want to ruin your kitchen plans because you told me you wanted to be aggressive and the market does what it does. And now we're not doing the nicer kitchen, right? We're not doing custom cabinets. We're doing a store-bought cabinet. So it really depends on where someone is. And a lot of times I'm like, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But if anything pops up and you need to change your risk based off a goal or a wedding or a new house or some kind of health issue, well, then we need to adjust the risk. That's why, sure, we'll see our clients quarterly and semi-annually, but I'm just a phone call away. You call my office, we'll get you in because we want you to bring us in on these decisions because we might be able to look for some efficiency elsewhere that you're not seeing. Like maybe it's tax efficient to do it out of this portfolio rather than this portfolio. So we're very much a part of those decisions. Not that it's our money, of course. It's just that that's what you have hired us for, is to look for any efficiencies you can. And that comes with managing risk and time horizon and those project dollars, et cetera.
In the end, Casey, planning is better than guessing.
It sure is.
We have to have a plan.
Yep. And moral of the story is incorporating the help of a professional to guide you through these conversations and these decisions. That's going to be the key here. So if you're listening today, you're looking for answers to your retirement questions, today's the perfect chance for you. 714-452-1955 is the number to dial. Somebody from the office is standing by now to take your call, and we will get you on the calendar to connect with Paul and Travis for a personalized Ivanoff retirement roadmap. No pressure here, no commitment, just genuine guidance tailored to your specific situation. Spots will fill up though, so time to take some action. Make sure that you lock one in. That number again, 714-452-1955. One more time for you, 714-452-1955. Or if you prefer online, you can reach out and discover more anytime at IvanoffAdvisors.com. And that is Ivanoff, Ivanoff. All right, guys. I don't know about you, but I definitely struggle to get the recommended 10,000 steps every day that they say you should get to stay healthy. But I've got some good news on that front. If you were with me, a recent study found that as little as 7,000 daily steps can promote nearly the same exact health benefits as 10,000 can. So when I saw this news, it reminded me of trying to calculate how much savings that you'll need to retire. Some shoot for a magic number amount of, say, 1.8 million. Others believe you should have 70 to 80% of that annual salary. So guys, how do you figure this out for your clients, and what factors are you considering?
Yes, Casey, back to the 10,000 steps. Back around 2 years ago, I ended up doing 15,000 steps a day for 1 year. That was one of my bucket lists. So obviously I overshot it. I guess I didn't need to do that many with 7,000 being enough. You are an overachiever, Paul, but I'm so impressed because 10,000, I mean, you got to really commit to getting 10. So if you got 15K for 365, dang. Yeah, well, I stopped it after that. I should start again, but not 15,000.
Maybe 12 and a half.
Hey, you just got to keep walking, right?
That's right. Just keep going.
What you bring up there, it makes me think back to a seminar I had a couple of years ago. And I started to talk to clients about what they really need, what the number is they need to retire off. And away we back into that, because oftentimes you sit in a first appointment and you're getting to know a client and, asking the questions and whatnot. And sometimes you ask them, hey, how much does it cost to be you? And what are you looking for when you retire? What kind of monthly income? Believe it or not, that stumps most people. So we kind of reverse engineer that. And I talked about this again in our educational seminars that we do all over Orange County. And I go, look, let's start here. What are you getting paid every 2 weeks, right? What is your net? And then, because oftentimes clients say, hey, I make $140,000 a year. I'm like, okay, but what's your take home? After you pay Social Security, Medicare, you're rolling money into your tax deferred 401k, et cetera. And then we quickly realize, well, I guess, we're not living off 140. I guess we're living more off like $80,000 a year.
Right.
Okay, that's a good building block. That's where we should start, because that's what you're already living off. And I said, oftentimes people get stuck on this big number, and I'm thinking about a specific client right now. And this client's number was $3 million. And, this was back around 2022 when the market took a dip. He was at one of our seminars. And I was speaking about that in the seminar, like, hey, don't get stuck on a number, right? You should have a number that you're comfortable living off with. And that's what we should focus on, because your number versus what you need to live off could be two-way different things. And you might keep yourself working just to get back to that number when you really don't want to be working anymore, when we can hit the same $130,000 a year or whatever it is without you working any longer. And that client, I'll never forget, I was walking, I finished a seminar and he came up to me. He's like, hey, I am that guy. I've been trying to get to $3 million and this market crash just, scared me, and I'm waiting for it to recover. I don't know when I'll be able to retire. I don't know when the market's going to recover. But I'd be interested to see, what the numbers I'm looking off for to live off versus what I'm trying to save up to. And sure enough, we built out his Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. He could retire tomorrow. Wow. His number wasn't that hard to get to. With the assets he had, even after the market crash, we're still able to hit his like $140,000 of income after tax a year, which is about what he was bringing in anyways. So he still works to this day, but it's because he wants to. And he says if he has 3 bad days, he's going to quit. And he knows that because we built out the planning. So instead of getting stuck on a number, let's talk about what you need. And you might be able to get out of there sooner than you'd like, or at least know that you're 3 bad days away from just retiring completely. And that's what we do in our planning all the time.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah. Also, Casey, we do have clients every now and then where they can actually earn more money now retiring than if they're working. So they just get all giggly. And then a lot of times they say, you're kidding. I'll make more if I retire now than if I keep working. We go, yeah, you can. And boy, a lot of them do it.
Yeah.
And then they just start enjoying their vacations and all the little things that they planned on doing during the retirement years.
The retirement giggle. You love to hear it. I think sometimes focusing on a huge goal like $3 million for retirement, like 10,000 steps a day, can feel very overwhelming and, make people freeze up before they even get started. So let me ask you this, guys. For somebody who's feeling a little lost or they're just beginning their savings journey, what would you say is a good 7,000 steps equivalent for retirement planning? Is there a simple, realistic habit or two that they can help get going to get folks headed in the right direction, even if that big goal feels out of reach for them?
Well, everybody has a different number. Some people might want $5,000 a month. Others might want $10,000 or $12,000. So it depends on the client. And that's why we really try to get to know them. And the purpose of money dictates where we put it. And we really have to just get a feeling as to what they really want to retire on, what they need.
Again, the biggest step that we see is clients don't have a plan. It's in their head or they're reading their 401ks. But at the end of the day, you don't know what you don't know. And we have tools and portfolios and strategies that might be able to give you the peace of mind to retire a lot sooner and accomplish the income you need to have a fruitful retirement. So instead of getting stuck on a number, let's get stuck on a retirement roadmap and actually build a plan out. So you have a one pager that shows your Social Security, your pensions, your rental properties, whatever it is. And that way you can see it live and go, you know what, I guess I can retire, or I need to work a little harder. And if you need to work a little harder, we're going to be very blunt and transparent when it comes to that, because we don't want anyone, we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. We're talking about someone's retirement here. So let's sit down, let's do the retirement roadmap and put the pen to paper and see if you can retire, and we'll help you figure out what a comfortable income is for you. So that's exactly what we do at Ivanoff Advisors. So take us up on the Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. We have 5 spots available right now. We've cleared it for our radio listeners. And you can get a hold of us at 714-452-1955. You can also contact us at IvanoffAdvisorInsights.com, and we can help you get started. You might be just one meeting away from retiring a lot sooner than you like. So if you want a second opinion, if you want us to do a retirement roadmap, we'd love to sit down and do that for you, and hopefully you'll be out living life stress-free and enjoying retirement rather than having to work longer. So, look forward to seeing you.
Yes, good news could be just around the corner. So take advantage of this offer. Sit down with Paul and Travis and let them help you put a plan together that you are going to feel good about. No obligation here. This is just a conversation, but you got to make the call and secure your spot on the calendar. That number again, 714-452-1955. One more time for you, 714-452-1955, or if you prefer online, you can find us anytime at IvanofFinsights.com. You are listening to Ivanoff Retirement Insights, and I am here with Paul and Travis Ivanoff, talking all things retirement. And guys, we've got to talk about interest rates for a moment. The Fed has kept them unchanged for all 5 of this year's meetings, but many are betting that this month's get-together will be different. Here is Morgan Stanley economist Ellen Zentner on CNBC. Let's take a listen.
It's been very difficult for the Fed to stick to this "we're not going to do anything" mantra because inflation is coming, right? And we are seeing it come through in goods prices, just not as much as people thought. But how long for the Fed can you wait when Chair Powell already acknowledged downside risks to the labor market? So now definitely there's downside risks to the labor market. And I think that it's going to be easy for the Fed to get consensus to cut in September, because the first cut is always the easiest.
So guys, if interest rates start dropping, what's another move for someone relying on savings income for their retirement? Talk to us about your thoughts here.
We hear about this. We heard about it last year when they didn't do a lot of cuts, and we've heard about it this year as well. But we need a all seasons portfolio. And what we're talking about there is, there's not one perfect strategy. There's not one perfect portfolio. There's not one perfect annuity. It's the sum of all the parts. So you're ready for whatever curveball is thrown at you. So some different ideas that we can use for, income. And remember what happened to the bond market in 2022. We don't want to be only dependent on bonds, but there's other strategies we can use to help you build a income off your portfolio. There's a lot of tools out there we can be using for that, and to try to provide you with peace of mind during retirement that, hey, you know what? My income is not coming off one source. I'm diversified in my equity strategies, but I'm also diversified on where I'm getting my income. And the goal is to give you some sort of pension-like strategy that's going to allow you to retire and get those paychecks, right? Most people can't survive off just Social Security. And you don't want there to only be one paycheck in your portfolio that you can count on from, month in and month out. So the goal is to get a couple more paychecks built into your portfolio strategies so that whatever the Fed does, whatever happens to inflation, whatever happens to market crashes, that's not the only thing you're counting on to retirement, nor should it be.
Yeah, also, Casey, in the end, in almost all cases, we like to have their pension go through both lifetimes, husband and wife. That way there's always a paycheck there.
The goal is to get rid of that uncertainty and to have a resilient retirement plan set in place that you can feel confident in. And that's exactly what Paul and Travis and their team are here to help you with. So take advantage of the offer that they've got exclusively for our radio listeners today. 714-452-1955 is how you get in touch with us. And those first 5 callers can get on the calendar for an Ivanoff Retirement Roadmap. Ashley and Amber from the office are standing by now to take your call. I think they're scheduling a couple of weeks out, but give the office a call. We'll find you the next available time. That number again, 714-452-1955. One more time, 714-452-1955. Or you can always head to ivanoffinsights.com, and that's Ivanoff, Ivanoff, and you can get connected with us that way. Paul, Travis, what a fantastic show. I had so much fun, and I'm going to throw it over to you for the final word.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We had a great time. We're excited to get to know our listeners, but I will say this might be our first show, but it's not our first rodeo, right? And try to de-stress your life there, because we have enough stress with the everyday. So planning is better than guessing. Let's get you a roadmap together so you can sail off to the sunset and enjoy that retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through Ivanoff Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor firm. Registration is not an endorsement by security regulators. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Travis Ivanoff, California CRD number 325275. The firms are separate entities. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company and are not offered by Ivanoff Wealth Management Incorporated. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Ivanoff Wealth Management is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Ivanoff Wealth Management is licensed in your state, please call 714-553-1490. Ivanoff Advisors is not affiliated with Ivanoff Wealth Management Incorporated. Advisory services are offered by Travis Ivanoff through Ivanoff Wealth Management. Insurance services are offered by Paul Ivanoff through Ivanoff Advisors. The aforementioned are unaffiliated companies.
All content is for information purposes only. It is not intended to provide any tax or legal advice or provide the basis for any financial decisions, nor is it intended to be a projection of current or future performance or indication or future results.